Hello everyone, I'm Dizzy. Today I'm going to discuss a fascinating topic in communication theory, the third person fact. Let's get started. The third person fact is one of the most intriguing theories I encountered during my studies. I remember a tutor in my communication theory class presenting a thought provoking example. He asked, if you were designing a questionnaire and included a question, do you watch their videos? Most respondents would say no. But if the question changed to, does anybody rather watch their videos? The answer would likely to be yes. So why does this happen? This is a classic example of the third person fact, first introduced by sociologist W. Phillips Davidson in 1983. The third person fact hypothesis suggests that people tend to believe mass media messages have greater influence on others than on themselves. One key point is just a hypothesis at this stage. Davidson noticed this during World War II, when Japan used propaganda leaflets targeting US black soldiers, encouraging them to desert. While there was no direct evidence that the leaflets worked, their presence alone triggered significant changes within the affected military unit. Similarly, during interviews with West German journalists, Davidson felt that they believed editorials had little impact on people like you and me, but ordinary readers were influenced heavily. These examples reveal a recurring pattern. Individuals often perceive a stronger media influence on others than on themselves. To test this, Davidson conducted informal surveys across scenarios from TV ads targeting children to political messaging. People consistently believed others were more influenced than they were personally. A fascinating case study by Douglas MacLeod in 1997 analyzed this effect through participants' perceptions of violent or misogynistic rap lyrics. Participants were divided into three groups. One listened to violent lyrics, another to misogynistic lyrics, and the third acted as a control group. Each group was asked how these lyrics might influence their own attitudes and behaviors, as well as those of peers and youth in major cities like New York and Los Angeles. The results? Participants consistently believed these lyrics had minimal influence on themselves, but a much greater influence on others, especially on those distant groups like urban youth. More recently, a 2015 study by Nikos Antonopoulos examined the web third person effect in digital environments like social media and news websites. Using an online survey of over 9,000 participants, the study found that features such as the number of article shares or concurrent readers significantly influenced perceptions of others' susceptibility, while participants downplayed their own. Interestingly, when media messages were perceived as credible and non-persuasive, the web third person fact weakened, supporting existing theories. Understanding the third person fact is crucial in today's media driven world. For example, It shapes public support for media policy or regulations. People often call for content moderation or restrictions, believing harmful content affect more on others than on themselves. This dynamic is especially evident in discussions like misinformation, online harassment, and unethical advertising. To wrap up, the third person fact offers a unique perspective on how media shapes our perceptions and behaviors through social comparison. However, it is not applicable in every scenario. This is where the first person fact comes into play. Thank you for listening. We'll dive into the first person fact in our next class.